The toys are back in town for some summertime playtime. It might be a little difficult this time around, however, thanks to some very advanced competition. Saddle up, partners, because the review for Toy Story 5 is coming your way right now. Anyone here know the Wi-Fi password? Howdy toys, and welcome to the latest edition of the Porter Report. My name is BJ Porter, and I hope everybody is having an amazing day today. For all of my returning viewers, it is wonderful to see you all again, and for all my first timers out there, welcome, and we hope you enjoy everything that this video and channel has to offer. The summer movie season continues full steam ahead as we enter the latter portion of month 1. So much has gone on in just a couple of weeks, but trust and believe that things are just getting started. The subject of today's Porter Report movie review is one that is absolutely going to appeal to the kid in us all. This series has been a staple in so many people's lives for over 3 decades. But with all the obstacles that these characters have faced in the past, nothing could prepare them for a showdown with a plaything that can do just about anything. Just as long as you have a charger and a strong signal. Today, I am giving you guys the official review for Toy Story 5, directed by Andrew Stanton and starring the voice talent of Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, Joan Cusack, Wallace Shawn, John Ratzenberg, Craig Robinson, Conan O'Brien, and Greta Lee. In the midst of 40 years of Pixar Animation Studios, it is truly remarkable what this team has accomplished in 4 decades. So many incredible stories, unforgettable characters, and genre-defining moments have turned Pixar into one of animation's true juggernauts. A lot of that credit should go to the film that started it all, Toy Story. It is hard to put into words what this franchise means to me. Woody, Buzz, Jessie, and the rest of the gang have been part of my life since I was a child, and I know that I'm not alone in that. The adventures that these characters have gone on for over 30 years has brought such a light to my life, and the joy is still there to this day. This now brings me to present day as we get ready to enter the next chapter in the franchise. Like many of you, I had very mixed feelings about this series continuing. The original trilogy is considered one of the greatest in animation, so I was a little bit puzzled when they decided to do a 4th one as great as I thought it was. Then the announcement came that a 5th one was being made, and I was like, okay, that is a little bit too overindulgent at this point. I thought it should have ended at 3, but I let 4 slide, and I enjoyed it very much. But a 5th one is where I may have to start drawing the line. So as you can tell, I was initially against the idea of doing another installment in the Toy Story franchise. That was until 2 things happened. The first was the announcement of the film's director, Andrew Stanton, who I see as one of Pixar's best storytellers. His past contributions, including Finding Nemo, Finding Dory, and WALL-E, showcases not just his ability to create entertaining films, but also his talent in crafting deeply nuanced stories with layers of subtext. Fun fact, him directing a Toy Story movie is actually a full circle moment for him, because he got his start as a writer on the original 1995 film, alongside Pixar's current CCO, Pete Docter. The second thing that got me on board for this movie was the premise. The toys have faced so many opposition and antagonists over the decades. Unhinged next-door neighbors, money-hungry collectors, senile relics of the past, gaslighting tyrants that smell like fruit, and envious playthings who also crave love and attention. But one opponent is yet to be showcased that I admittedly didn't even consider at the time. What if we put the toys that we love up against a mobile device? Having Woody, Buzz, Jessie, and the rest of the crew vying for their child's attention while electronics take up that attention is a brilliant and genius concept that is also scarily relevant to today's times. If you don't think that's the case, maybe take a moment and see what your kids have their eyes on right this second. Despite initial skepticism, all signs are pointing to this Toy Story movie hitting very close to home for a good amount of people. However, the question still lingering is whether the premise, while intriguing, was still enough of a justifiable reason to continue the franchise that many people believe should have ended in 2010. The answer is not going to be given to us talking about it, so how about we log in and see what this new age of playtime has in store for us. Here's the Porter Report movie review for Toy Story 5. Time changes many things when it comes to everyday life. As it progresses, old ways start to fade as new ones become the norm. The same logic can be applied when it comes to children and how they interact with others and their environment. Even at her still very young age, Bonnie continues to let her imagination run wild as she gleefully crafts vivid stories in her amazing play sessions with Jessie, Buzz, Ham, Rex, and the rest of the toys in her room. But while Bonnie's toys are living the high life being residents in Bonnie's world, a new arrival may change things drastically. A package in the mail arrives and it it is poised to forever change Bonnie's view of playtime. Filled with various apps, games, and interactive tools, a high-tech tablet named LilyPad is an instant hit with Bonnie. In fact, it's a little too much of an instant hit with Bonnie. Following its arrival, LilyPad soon starts to take up more and more of Bonnie's time and attention, leaving Jessie and the others feeling discarded and forgotten for the first time in a good while. Their anxieties are elevated even more when their old friend Woody is constantly sending back reports that more and more children are opting for electronics, leading to an increase of abandoned and lost toys out in the world. Desperate to reclaim the attention of their kid from a new generation plaything eager to make them obsolete, Jessie, Buzz, Woody, along with some new and old friends must rally together to fight for the future of playtime that may signal the end of the age of toys. Pixar's crown jewel franchise returns for the next installment as the iconic characters you know and love make their long-awaited reappearance in Toy Story 5. WALL-E and Finding Nemo director Andrew Stanton leads the 5th chapter that puts the toys in a heated showdown with modern technology with the attention of kids everywhere at stake. Now that I've gone on this latest adventure with Bonnie's toys, Toy Story 5 continues the franchise's streak of excellence behind one of its most relevant chapters yet. It is not easy to maintain a strong level of consistency in the manner that Toy Story does. You would think that a franchise that started in the mid-1990s would run out of ideas and stories to tell. Lord knows about how many conversations have been had about continuing entries in the franchise past the near-perfect third installment from 16 years ago. Nonetheless, the series continued, and we are now experiencing a new story with characters we have grown with for 3 decades. Despite initial skepticism going in, director Andrew Stanton has crafted a story that isn't just fun, hilarious, and emotionally heartfelt, but also incredibly and at times scarily topical and timely, especially for those who either know someone or are themselves overly reliant on technology as a means of play. The film's premise was one of the main things that got me on board with this film existing, and I'm thrilled at the final product for really making the most of the chance it was given to justify its existence. As always, this cast of iconic characters is the heart of the movie, and the film did something that truly elevated not just the emotional stakes and investment, but further made this already beloved character one of the most fleshed out and emotionally complex of the saga. I'm of course talking about the yodeling cowgirl herself, Jessie, played masterfully by Joan Cusack. From the moment she arrived in 1999, Jessie has become a bona fide fan favorite with so many fans, including myself. She is more than just a female clone of Woody. She has this layered nuance to her that truly makes her such a presence every time she is on screen. She was admittedly sidelined in Toy Story 4, but here she is at the center of the story told. We get an even deeper look into her backstory and history, which was only touched on briefly in Toy Story 2. The result is an even more detailed look at Jessie's anxieties about potentially not being good enough to be loved or kept. Her arc is about letting go of the fear of feeling you made no impact on your child simply because you can't see their next chapter. The end result motivates Jessie to not only continue to be a light for Bonnie, but also to overcome her own prejudice towards tech and the presumed damage they cause to development and social connection. Cusack's performance makes Jessie a revelation, and it was truly a joy to see this character get the type of spotlight that elevates her status as a series icon. Tim Allen and Tom Hanks are great supporting cast in the returns as Buzz and Woody respectively. Buzz gets a little more to do this time around, both as the character we know and love and as the army of tech-enabled Buzz Lightyear action figures. Hanks' Woody returns in a more of a reduced role, which does make sense given his story is pretty much complete after the 4th installment. Despite being the center of some comedic gags, his presence is a welcome one, especially his chemistry with Allen's Buzz, specifically the renewed power dynamic that takes place between the two of them. While the majority of the returning cast do well, the majority of the action in the film is driven by Woody, Jessie, Buzz, and the collection of new characters introduced, including Greta Lee's LilyPad. Seen at first as an antagonistic force or obstacle, Lily over the course of the film shows that she has a genuine care for Bonnie despite not really understanding the importance of what truly making a connection entails. Eventually, she is able to use her resources to make a difference and prove that tech can be a positive tool for bringing people together. While the film had many standouts, including the new character Blaze played wonderfully by Michael Michelle Harris, my goodness, give Conan O'Brien all of the gold stars for his role as Smarty Pants. O'Brien's chaotic nature is perfectly captured as he brings his style of comedy to the role, creating laugh-out-loud moments at every turn. The tandem of him alongside Shelby Rabar's Snappy and Craig Robinson's Atlas manifests a lovable trio that blends in perfectly with the original crew. These new characters, as well as our established ones, make all of the moments in the film work as they create an investment factor that adds such life and meaning to the story being told. As I mentioned at the top, the potential of the film's premise was one of the main things that made me open to the idea of continuing to do stories in this franchise. The idea of the toys fighting for the attention of a child while a mobile device is taking up all that time and attention is a concept that could really hit home if done right. What I love the most about Toy Story 5 is that it doesn't just explore the concept on a surface level. There is a genuine effort to truly dig deeper into the themes embedded. The film has a ton of things to say about connection and the importance of how it is established, especially when it comes to our use, or in this case, overuse of technology. Themes such as peer pressure and the fear of losing yourself as a result are explored within Bonnie, while the understanding that tech can be used in a way that does genuinely bring people together is explored via Jessie Jessie's journey to help Bonnie reach out and establish a friendship where she doesn't have to sacrifice what makes her unique. These are the type of nuanced complexities that anyone who has seen Stanton's style of storytelling should be familiar with. There is always more going on under the surface for those who want to look deeper. But like all of the Toy Story films before it, the movie absolutely delivers the type of visual splendor and comedic prowess you would expect from this series. The film's visuals are, to no one's surprise, outstanding with so much detail in every frame. The film also has some incredibly fun and inventive moments of visual storytelling that really make it stand out within the series. It builds off the legacy of the previous installments, resulting in moments that are at times breathtaking to look at, including one sequence that might be one of the coolest I've seen in the franchise. For a movie that is a continuation, I truly appreciate that effort to bring new things to an already established table. If you're gonna keep sending invites, do what you can to make the return trips worth it. In the end, Toy Story 5 is yet another standout entry in the series. There is so much to appreciate about not just this film, but also the story that was being told. The relevance of its premise gave us a chance to see the beloved characters once more, but also gave us a chance to better understand what makes a connection of genuine intention so powerful. In a culture that is so fixated on quick and easy satisfaction through a screen, it's nice to see that after all these years, the real joy of playtime lies in the more hands-on approach of being present and in the moment. When a franchise has been in existence for over 30 years, the legacy that is established can connect generations. Especially for a franchise that has a reputation of storytelling excellence like Toy Story does. These films have a level of consistency that many franchises dream of having. There is a risk, however, when continuing to do entries of overstaying your welcome. As I said at the top, a lot of people believe that this franchise should have ended 16 years ago, following the near-perfect capper of a trilogy that was the third one. I still enjoy Toy Story 4 probably more than most these days, but even I was apprehensive and nervous that the fifth installment of this franchise was going to be the breaking point for me and convince me that the magic of this series was faded and gone. But if there's one thing that I love, it's being proven wrong in the most joyous way possible. I don't know how they pulled it off, guys, but we got yet another banger entry in the franchise. What makes Toy Story 5 so special isn't just the fact that it maintains the incredible heart and sense of wonder that's been there since the franchise's beginning. It makes the most of the opportunity it has to tell a story that is very relevant and topical about something that is very real and very present in our everyday lives. Knowing how much these toys mean to us, putting them in a position where tech is something that could truly make them obsolete, makes this a Toy Story movie where the stakes have never been higher. It is a story that had a ton of potential and you needed the right director to bring it to fruition. Luckily for this film, you have a director who understands and knows how to create a film with deeper meaning and subtext, in addition to being a fun and engaging ride from start to finish. Though it might be obvious in a movie centered around how technology is changing the way we play, the film itself is about connection but in a much richer capacity. A friendship based solely online is not the same thing as walking up to somebody in person and actually having common mutuality and camaraderie. There is truly something special about being in the presence of another person and a spark emerges. I'm not saying that friendships established online are a bad thing. I'm just saying that the old school method is still effective even in these changing times. But aside from all the deeper meaning within the narrative, I'm never going to say no to spending time with these characters that have literally been part of my life since I was 3 years old. What I love the most is that they took the opportunity to truly flesh out one of the best characters in the series by giving her her own arc and show her that technology can be used as a resource to create genuine human connection instead of being a replacement for it. When you continue a franchise that has gone on for this long, it is very important to find strong story justifications to keep it going. And I'm thrilled to say that this one was one that truly worked. Believe me when I tell you that Toy Story 5 is not just another example of the staying power of these characters in this world, but also how this series continues to be relevant and show us the importance of maintaining our sense of wonder and imagination. Having a great balance of some things is always better than having an overabundance of one thing. Technology can bring people together, but it all depends on how it's used. But now that you've heard from me, I now want to hear from all of you guys. Sound off in the comments below your thoughts about Toy Story 5, but be mindful of anything that could potentially be seen as a spoiler. It is actually wild to me that so many people from my generation who grew up with these films when we were kids are now sharing it with their kids. Regardless of your feelings about the franchise continuing after 3, the fact that our children are connecting with these characters just as strongly as we did truly says something about who they are and what they represent. It's very easy to lose sight of that when you get older, but it is always great to have some old friends around to remind you why holding on to that inner child is so important. As always, keep it locked to the channel for more videos and reviews throughout the remainder of summer movie season 2026 and beyond. No matter what device you're on, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and tell a friend to stop on by. I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of their day, and until the next review, I'm BJ Porter, and this has been The Porter Report.